We are live 364 days a year. What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan. Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How do you not get 50 after Monday Night Raw?
Whoa, Aunt you is let's go. I bet Aunt you was like, what did I do? Oh man, I did not do that on purpose. What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Shad Talks Grabs, and we are back.
You know who's on the show already.
We're back with another installment of the Wrestling Republic daily broadcast. StreamYard does StreamYard things sometimes. I can't call it. But we here, man. This is going to be a splendid episode because we are on the road to Forbidden Door, and we had a go-home show for AEW Dynamite. We're going to break it down. Man, I'm just going to go ahead and kick it off to you first because we saw your face. The first co-host that I have, and you, how you doing, bro?
Man, what's going on, man? I'm glad to be hanging out here with you heathens and troglodytes, and we're going to have a great time talking about AEW Dynamite.
For sure, man. Always a pleasure, man. You and me, we're doing back-to-back shows. Just so y'all know, we're going to talk about Dynamite on back-to-back days. Last but not least, man, y'all know this guy. He is a staple for Thursday shows. Me and him went a whole calendar year doing Throwback Thursday. It's always a pleasure. My fellow Philadelphia Eagles fan, Anthony, how are you, bro?
I'm doing all right. You know, you gave Aunt you. Wait, we're live. I felt bad for the man. But yeah, it's always fun. It's always fun to get into these ones. Interesting topics. Leading into a pay-per-view. Pretty much the go-home show for them, and let's get into it.
Yes, let's do that. And yeah, I don't know, StreamYard. Maybe it's because I don't know how that happened. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Let's get a couple comments in because I like.
You wouldn't want to see this. Everybody loves seeing all this, man. Let's go.
Hey, man. We got Zach Minger, bro. He is the resident. I'm going to let you know what national day it is. And today is a burger day. Thank you. I might have to get a burger after the show today. Also, Josie Curry. Hello to you all. What is going on? Thank you for being on the show. And let's get into it, man, because last night, as we mentioned, it was the go-home show. And we got to talk about the opening segment. Obviously, we have a big-time match going on, a lights-out cage match. The Death Riders versus Will Ospreay, Tanahashi, and friends. And Will Ospreay put a big tidbit out there, man. He is wrestling with a broken freaking neck. Nah. It can't be.
That's copyright infringement.
Yeah, it can't be. It can't be. He's not Kurt Angle. No, he says he has been dealing with a neck injury and it might lead to a surgery. He's saying that he is not medically cleared by the AEW staff. And he said, forget about it. I need to wrestle in my hometown and I need to wrestle against the Death Riders to, put them out of their misery. So he's going to wrestle. He says if any injuries happen, it's on him. He's taking full plausibility. It's not on AEW.
Mm-hmm.
It was a surprising little promo. I'm going to assume it's not 100% accurate because I don't think the medical team on AEW can just go ahead and let that go. But it does add a wrinkle into the storyline. It adds more so to me a thought process of what happens after that. Because if he truthfully is dealing with a neck injury and it's one of those things where he's going to probably get it taken care of after,
right,
you might not have Ospreay for a big part of whatever the rest of this year and maybe going into next year. So I'm interested. Obviously, we did have a match, the Death Riders versus Jet Speed and Tanahashi. I will say Tanahashi running up the ring is one of the most funniest things I've seen all week because that man moves like a walrus or a penguin. I don't know. He ain't running with a lot of speed, but they had the match. We had a lot of shenanigans go off after that. Kidnappings, Darby Allin coming out of a body bag. Hold up. Let me say this. The kidnapping part. We thought it was Marina Shafir. We got Roderick Strong fighting the Young Bucks off to remain his wife to be kidnapped in a potential body bag. Marina needs to talk to him after the show last night, man. But yeah, anyways, a bunch of chaos, man. I'm gonna kick it off to you first, Anthony. What were your thoughts on specifically the Will Ospreay promo leading into this match this weekend?
I do have to say, I do love your Tanahashi and Friends reference. I think that'd be a great name for a stable because it's just so ridiculous. No, the Ospreay thing, selfishly, I was hoping he was back full time because I'm going to Dynamite next week, and I was hoping to see Will Ospreay live, and it doesn't sound like that's going to happen. My first thought was, I hope this is a storyline thing, because if you are letting him wrestle with a serious neck injury, now I don't know how serious it is. None of us really do. Don't know if they're playing it up, but let's say it is a serious neck injury. I don't think that's a smart move for him or for AEW publicly, because God forbid if something happens, I mean, that's always a risk, but when you're playing with damaged parts to begin with, that risk goes up dramatically. The match itself is going to be insane. Ospreay's done that in cage matches. We saw him do it with Fletcher earlier this year and doing some questionable things. That was before we knew about the neck injury stuff, publicly anyway. I don't necessarily understand why the Death Riders are still a thing. Just as a whole, you did an endgame finish it all in. That was supposed to be the end of this. Nothing's changed. Why? This is a match that I think is going to be insane, but storyline wise, I don't understand why they're doing this and why any of these people are together to do this. I don't fully get it. You have Gabe Kidd in this, despite the fact he went down with a knee injury and couldn't compete in the G1, but he's cleared to wrestle in an unsanctioned cage lights out match. I'm a little confused. That's the only thing with AEW, and I don't do this to bury them, but they make decisions that make me go, does no one else see the logic flaws in this? And I'm not saying that WWE doesn't do it, other people don't do it, but AEWs are very glaring, and you don't have to look very far to see them. Like you pointed out with Marina and Roderick, and as we'll get into later on in the show, that's kind of my thought with that. I don't get it. I understand why they're giving Tanahashi a match. He's in his farewell tour. So I get that. I don't necessarily get why this match. Like a lot of this doesn't make much sense to me.
Yeah, I agree. And also I think a lot of your reasons are not like on something where like you have to say, it is a thing that is evident with AEW. That is a fair criticism.
And listen, the one other thing, and I know WWE did this with Cody Rhodes with the torn pec. That's questionable. It's an iconic moment, but like it's questionable. I know it couldn't cause more damage, but you're lifting up somebody. You could potentially be injuring somebody else. So I was not, even though the Cody one's iconic, I have a piece of the ring mat. I love the match. Logically and ethically, if AEW is not getting him to sign a legitimate waiver, waiving them of responsibilities, if this is as legitimate as it sounds, I would not be letting him wrestle in my ring. That's me from a business standpoint. But then again, Tony Khan knows more than we do as the audience. But if it's as severe as they're saying it is, I wouldn't let him risk
exactly.
it. Yeah. Also, go ahead. Yeah.
Nah, man. So for me, like, I felt like the whole segment was pretty much like the All In Going Home show. You have all the same characters. You have the Death Riders. You have the Ops. You just substitute Will Ospreay for Hangman Page, and it was the exact same segment. Big brawl taking place before the thing, and yeah, it just that's my only thing. Like being someone that's newly coming in and watching AEW every week, it seems like just a lot of this. Like there's no real storyline getting to it. It's just a lot of the same moments over and over again. And I wish it wasn't that way. But like, as we talk to the card, like, I mean, I'll bring up instances of this was on the Going Home show before All In, you know? Do I love seeing Samoa Joe and the Ox on my screen? Of course. Do I love the way Will Ospreay interacted with that? Where were they at last night? They were overseas.
Scotland.
Scotland.
Glasgow.
Glasgow. The way Will Ospreay interacted with that crowd, and the way that crowd is fully behind Will Ospreay, and you could just tell he was having a good time. Like, that's special. That's fun. But then again, I got to agree 100% with you, Anthony. If he's really hurt, like they say he is, then, like, it's not a good look for Tony Khan to let him wrestle at all. And I mean, these guys' safety is way more important than just getting a couple views to try to beat a WWE show, an NXT show, especially.
So my reasoning to why I find a little bit difficult is more so, I just think it's such a delicate subject on an injury angle, and it came so abruptly. Like, I know that he's mentioned it before, but I feel like you kind of need to lean into it more, and it makes me honestly think that, hey, he might potentially need to go through the process of getting a neck surgery. And I mean, look, man, as much as I am a fan of Jon Moxley, I agree with Anthony on a standpoint. The Death Riders are becoming very redundant, and there needs to be a story within the Death Riders to eventually break them up before having them go against this Death Riders versus AEW. Like, it is kind of a rinse and repeat pattern within a storyline that we've already seen. You mentioned something a second ago, because I wanted to go ahead and point to this comment from, I think this is the Ignacio that is on our panel, I believe so. I don't know, I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't know Ignacio's last name, but Ignacio is saying, I wouldn't let Ospreay wrestle anywhere, anytime. He's a poison to the wrestling business.
That I don't agree with.
So he's a poison to the wrestling business, but you just visibly said that, oh yeah, he's a big star. There's a lot of connection between a lot of fans and in the entire arena. How is that poison to the wrestling industry?
Listen, the issue with, as a whole, having Ospreay wrestle, and I'm saying this from a PR standpoint for AEW, they've had a lot of negative instances where they've let matches go that should not have taken place. Moxley with the concussion, instead of calling the match, they're like, no, put him in another, have him take another pile driver. Matt Hardy with the concussion, Cody got the prop chair. If Ospreay's legit got a serious neck injury, you do not put him in a steel cage match. I'm sorry, you just don't. From a logical standpoint, sometimes you need to look out for the benefit of the talent, even if they won't do it. But considering how reckless Darby is at times and the stuff that they let him do, something's going to happen, unfortunately. And I'm just hoping it doesn't. But continuing to take risks like that,
with Daniel Bryan being ringside too, Daniel Bryan went through serious neck injuries. You got Edge, who's wrestling again, who went through serious neck
Christian
injuries.
With the concussion.
Christian. And that's what makes me think that it's almost a work.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't have Daniel Bryan down there
but
on commentary watching this if
that's true.
If the chance of Will Ospreay getting seriously hurt was that bad. Or maybe Daniel's down there to look for a sign or something. But it
should be a bigger deal, though. That's my thing. Like, I feel like if you're this is a pretty serious wrinkle into a storyline. It should feel like a bigger deal, and it just feels like it's just a random caveat thrown into a storyline that doesn't have a whole lot to sink your teeth in. Maybe this was the Hail Mary. To me, the main backbone of this match is Darby and Moxley. That's what we have to lead to. We got to get to that. But everything else, I agree. A lot of it is kind of random. But
I mean, here's the thing. If you remember, because we're talking about Bryan, he had to have a match stop because he wouldn't do it on his own. Remember when he had the concussion and he got mad at Hunter because Hunter stopped the match? Here's the thing: if you're doing it for storyline purposes with Ospreay with the neck, where's the payoff in that? Unless you're writing him off TV for something, like if it's not a legitimate neck injury, because you can't wrestle a match like this and going, and I will be in Philly on Wednesday for Dynamite. Like you can't keep having him appear. So unless you're writing him off for vacation or he legitimately has a neck injury, I don't understand the logic of even hinting at the possibility that he's going to need neck surgery. I don't get the logic there.
There's nowhere for the Death Riders to go from here.
It should have ended it all in.
Right, but building extra heat with them for taking Ospreay out with his neck, like it makes no sense. There's no reason to do it.
Yeah, so, I think the intrigue is, salute to the homie Mex, because I saw him have a video in regards to Shayna Baszler. But like, I think Moxley just maybe stepping away and maybe just being a manager for Marina would be cool. I liked his idea on that. And then everybody else break off. Let Claudio do some solo stuff. Let Wheeler Yuta find his way as a solo wrestler and like just completely break it off. I do want to go ahead.
Oh, so I'd like to see Claudio and Pac as a tag team. Claudio does his best work as a tag team. And them two together, I think, would be really, really fun to watch.
For sure. We got a couple comments I want to get into, though. Josie Curry says, if the guy was to fight in the ring with that type of neck injury, he could possibly hurt himself worse, or he could possibly die depending on how he falls on his neck. Yeah, neck injuries are no joke, man. Like, that is a, like, serious.
That's why Big E is still not in the ring.
Yes.
I mean, that's why
he didn't have a history of neck injuries. Like, anything can happen. But in this case, you're working with damaged goods.
Yeah, we do have some Ospreay love, though. Fernando Isaiah says Ospreay is pound for pound the best wrestler in the world. In his opinion, it is not a bad take. I think a lot of people would agree with you on that in regards to it. We actually had reels where I think a lot of people picked Ospreay. More than one person picked Ospreay, right?
I believe I did. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
if you like Cirque du Soleil, then yes, Will Ospreay will be your favorite wrestler in the world. But
I think it's a little more than just Circle. I think it's a little more than.
I think he's more than that these days.
I think he is more than that too. To me, he has a bit of like prime, like Seth Rollins, AJ Styles, like to his game more than like he's not like Ricochet, like prime Ricochet. That's a little bit more like Circus LA to a point.
I feel like Ricochet never really elevated other than the flippy guy. Like Ospreay, I feel like changed his style, like AJ Styles or Shawn Michaels, more storytelling based, but still can do the high flying. That's how I do that.
Ricochet also, for Ricochet's in his defense in WWE, he became valuable because nobody can sell he's so good at selling. So he was the guy who sold and made people look good in that fashion. But let's get to the next topic though.
Yeah.
Because let's talk about something a little bit more. It made me happy. I'm not gonna lie to you. It brought a lot of joy to me. We had Edge and Christian. Cope and Christian cut a promo.
It's always Edge and Christian done.
Anyways, we had Edge and Christian, Cope and Christian, whatever you want to call it. Come out, cut a promo, talk. I like the dynamic that they have because Christian has not completely bought into being some good guy. He's kind of been like, I'm doing this because I need help and you need help. This is just us having.
I'm still an a-hole and I'm going to be an a-hole,
right?
I love it.
I love it. I like seriously. That was my favorite part of it. That is why Christian Cage is so damn good. We get Mama Wayne and Kip Sabian coming out, cutting a little bit of a promo on them, and then we get Nick Wayne on the Titantron, and Nick Wayne has a broken foot. He lets them know that they are lucky, but are they? Kip Sabian.
The way Nick Wayne introduced Luchasaurus, and I mean, you guys can see the topic, but that whole the whole promo to them injecting Luchasaurus back up and him sitting up, that was really good.
Yes.
Luchasaurus, not Kill Switch. Luchasaurus is back. I want to say this real quick. I am so happy to see him back and healthy, man. Obviously, he had a terrifying health scare dealing with double pneumonia, had low oxygen level. We are lucky to have this man
Yes.
still with us and alive, and the fact that he's able to regroup, get himself healthy after a year plus, and his return. I was excited, man. Comes out, choke slams both of these guys, and now we got Kip Sabian.
Look good and strong.
One of the more underrated big guys in our industry, man.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, comes out, wreck shop, and yeah, we have ourselves Kip and Luchasaurus. Anthony, I will ask you, man, what were your thoughts on the segment? And I guess what is your excitement level to have Luchasaurus in this match now?
Well, first off, I want to say I loved the Cope and Christian dynamic. Because you don't want Christian to suddenly become rah-rah Christian. He's still the same Christian. And I think the irony of the fact is, and anybody that's seen any interviews with him over the years as Jay, as himself, the dynamic between him and Adam is very much like that, where Christian is snarky and an a-hole. Like Edge has said that multiple times over the years. So, and they always say the best characters in wrestling are your real personality turned up. And I feel like that's what Christian is. So I love that they're not fully going, hey, we're buddies, we're bros again. Like, I'm glad they didn't do that. I'm glad it's yeah, he's an a-hole, but he's my a-hole. Like I love that. Luchasaurus coming back was surprising. I'm very happy that he's healthy enough to come back, because we didn't know what was going on with him. We didn't know if we would see him again. I think it was smart. Him going after Christian makes sense, because that's kind of where it laid off, where Christian was mean and nasty to him, and we were all waiting for that turn that never happened, because then he went down. So it makes sense. A side note, which is not directly related to this, where's Jack Perry? Am I missing something, or is he out injured, or where's Jungle Jack?
Hey man, he might make a return this week. You never know. The thing is, though, it won't make sense for Jack, because Jack kind of like him and Christian are in good standings. I don't know where he is.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't even mean in this storyline, but because we're talking Luchasaurus, I was like, you know what? I've been meaning to ask this. Am I missing something? Is he out with an injury, or do you either one of you know? Because I'm curious myself.
I have no idea.
I have no clue. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's a situation where, like, I think he was injured.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure, man. It's going to be interesting to see. But I definitely
look at DCX Warlords come.
The doctor who resurrected Luchasaurus was the scapegoat.
Jack Perry.
Listen,
that would be funny.
He does welding. I saw he had a video which is really cool. He was doing like welding and stuff like that.
Did the doctor have the long hair? I didn't notice.
I didn't notice either.
It was very Lucha Underground, the way it was shot, and I like that because it kind of worked with this. I thought they did a nice job. I mean, whenever you have a situation where someone gets injured and you have to pivot, it kind of worked. If Nick Wayne legitimately does have the broken foot, it's a logical move. Like, you know what I mean? There was no part of that where you went, this doesn't really fit.
The talent who they picked does make the story make sense. Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of it. It falls into a perfect place. I'm excited for it, man. I think it's going to be a fun match. It's going to be interesting. Like, I think Cope and Christian are going to work really well with someone like Luchasaurus, make him look strong in the match, and kind of continue with that. But I do want to steer away from the topics for a brief second, because we do have a couple ads we got to go through. The first one is our sponsor, Barista, a small batch organic coffee created through excellence, authenticity, and unforgettable moments, man. Salute to the brother Bo. He has got some top-notch products. I highly recommend you go ahead, follow him on Instagram. This is his page. Go to the website, support this wonderful small business, man. The coffee is excellent. It is some of the best stuff. Like, if you're a coffee connoisseur, you'll definitely love it, man. So go ahead and make sure you tap in. Also, make sure you tapping in with us, man. If you haven't already, go to the Wrestling Republic Undercard page. That is our second channel. and you will find all the exclusive videos, clips, and much more. A bunch of other episodes of shows that we do sold separately, NXT Off the Air, Grappling for Positions. We got it all. So go ahead and tap in with us on there. And also, last but not least, show the boss man love, man. The Allison analysis. He also has a YouTube page where you'll be able to find his 5 key findings from Raw, SmackDown, and other shows. Ben is an opinionated person. I don't agree with him all the time on his takes, but he also has great takes. So make sure you go ahead and lock in on that.
Hey, real quick, before we jump into that, right? Before we jump into this, I just want to say one more thing about Cope and Christian. Like, as you guys were watching those two interact in the ring, and Christian kept playing with his pocket, was I the only one hoping that he pulled a kazoo out? Like, I was hoping that Cope had put a kazoo in there, and he like just, to me, watching them, right? Not even play it. Like, if he had like looked at it and just threw it in the crowd or something, it would have been symbolic of, I'm not that Christian anymore. You know what I mean? But like,
that would have been good. I ain't gonna lie. That would have been a.
Like, the way he kept playing with his pocket, I was just like,
the question is the kazoo under WWE trademark, or are they allowed to do the kazoo? Because I'm sure the 5-second pose is trademarked.
I'm sure 5-second pose is trademarked, but I don't
change
think
the wording of it.
Is.
7-second pose with maybe harmonica, maybe he'll harmonica it up.
But I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up. I'm sorry. That would have been the nostalgia in me would have popped real hard for that, but
for sure, man. Also,
didn't happen.
We got to talk about the real GOAT, man. Mama Taylor, Lori in the building. What's going on? Fire emojis for us. Thank you for watching, and also Jason Havoc saying "Excelento hermanos." Thank you. And Ignacio is having a temper tantrum in the comments. We will not show his comments all because we will be having, that's an entire segment within itself. And we have a better segment to talk about because we got to talk about our main event of the last night. Athena and Mercedes Moné versus Toni Storm and Alex Windsor. Love saying how she says her name. Tag team match. Obviously, all 4 of these women's will be going against each other this weekend. Toni Storm versus Athena in a big time match. I'm excited for that one, as well as Mercedes versus Alex Windsor, Persephone, and the newest addition to the match from Stardom, Bozilla, which I'm pretty excited about that match, although I am not going to lie. People on Twitter are killing me. I wanted Mercedes to go against one of my Joshis out there. I wanted her to go against Saya. I wanted her to go against Starlight Kid, but no, you don't know. I know who Bozilla is, man. Cut the BS. Anyways, great match between these 4. Athena gets the pin. She gets the pin on Alex Windsor. Alex Windsor made Mercedes tap, but she wasn't the legal person. Face 1, 2, 3 curtains. I have to say, Aunt, I'm gonna pass it to you. Do you think this just locked in a Storm is going to retain this weekend, or do you see Athena potentially shocking the world?
So when it comes to these women, right? Like, I don't feel there's a female on the AEW roster that is athletic, that is as athletic or as fundamentally sound as Athena when it comes to straight in-ring work. Now, when you want to add all the other intangibles, yes, sure, there is. But when it comes to just straight athleticism inside of the ring, Athena does things that just put you in shock and awe, right? And watching her yesterday when she went, like, when she had Mercedes hold the bottom rope up, she went flying out of the ring. Like, that was, I mean, that tope suicida was one of the craziest ones I've seen, just in the speed she had when she was going to do it. And it's little things like that people miss on a lot of things, right? Toni Storm is hands down the most entertaining woman in wrestling right now. When she, let's just get it out the way now. When she came in the ring and straight sniffed Mercedes Moné. I lost it.
Get in my belly.
I lost it. And the fact that Mercedes is just standing there and taking it, right? It shows, like, a lot of people talk about Mercedes Moné and they say, that she's got creative control. She just wants to be the best. Now, if she didn't have a good sense of humor and if she wasn't a good worker, she would not let anything like that happen to make her character look silly. So everybody who's got hate against Mercedes Moné, get it out of yourself right now. Stop it. She is the belt collector for a reason. She's a great talent. She was better as Sasha Banks, but Mercedes Moné is top tier, right? She's a main eventer. She's going to stay a main eventer. To answer your question, Shad, I'm sorry I got off on a tangent there, but I do think that Toni Storm is going to retain. With her retaining, it does nothing to hurt Athena. Athena is still the longest reigning was a Ring of Honor women's champion.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, she's coming up on 1,000 days.
Mm-hmm.
They don't talk about it enough. They do not talk about that enough. Would I be shocked if she beat Toni Storm? No. Do I think it's truly going to happen? No. But we'll save that for tomorrow for the prediction show. Yeah, man.
It is wild when you think about Athena. Athena is probably the most dominant champion in wrestling that no one talks about because she's behind a paywall and they don't use her on major TV. Like, it's a shame. She's close to 1,000 days and nobody truly knows that. But yet, Mercedes has got what, 8, 9 belts? Any of them worth anything? Like, I mean, she's eventually going to lose.
Those independent promotions will say otherwise. She's
has she defended any of them?
Yeah,
other than winning them?
Wrestles this whole weekend.
But did she defend them? Did she just win more? Or did she defend them?
They're just not on TV.
She
does a lot of indie
promotion stuff. And she's the Rev Pro champ.
All right.
She does a lot of indie stuff that's not aired.
By the way, to that point, that's pretty remarkable also, because imagine going to an independent show and you get to see Mercedes Moné, formerly known as Sasha Banks. Like, you would probably be like, holy, like, yes, I'm going to be in there. That's the one thing I do find, like, I guess it's a gift and a curse in a sense, but AEW also doesn't have, they don't do house shows like WWE does, but It's cool that you get an opportunity for like such big names to come to these small promotions and wrestle there and wrestle their people. Like, I think I saw her versus one of the, I think her name was like something Fire from one of the promotions in Australia. And she was like, she lost, right? She lost to Mercedes, but she had such a big moment after, they both raising her hand. And then she was like, yo, I used to watch this young girl, probably right in her 20s. I used to watch her when I was a kid. And now I get to wrestle her. This is my favorite wrestler growing up. And I get to wrestle her in front of all my family and friends out there. Like, I do find it kind of like as a full circle moment in that point. And one thing that you said, and that I loved, is the fact that I like that there's like a sense of camaraderie and just being able to get along with each other in that locker room, for them to just not even forget feeling like people like, oh, feel uncomfortable, not even just cracking up. Like, Toni Storm would probably make me break like kayfabe during matches, because I think she's genuinely funny as hell with the stuff she says and the actions that she does.
And they're just having, the women's division in AEW is just having fun. Mm-hmm. Like, you watch them and it's crazy to see, like, they're just out there. Marina Shafir, like, everything she gets to do with the Death Riders, she wouldn't be doing it if she wasn't with them.
Yeah.
Like, she's taken, like, dude, she took a buckshot lariat.
Yeah,
she took a buckshot lariat.
And salute to Marina. Marina probably the toughest one in the Death Riders too, by the way. But
right,
they position it well. And man, everything you said about Athena, bro, I totally agree. I think she's like so athletically gifted that you mentioned. Like there was a great comment in here from DC Warlord saying that she just hit that open. You didn't even see it coming. Like she just came through, ran up, hit the joint, and got the win. Like that's like type of like just athleticism, just awareness that she has is so top notch. So
I love that finisher, but long-term wise, that's going to cause some damage to her. Hogan had back issues and he was just doing a leg drop. She's jumping off the top rope and doing this.
Hey man, she doing it.
What's the better
game.
finisher? The Soul Snatcher or the O-Face?
The Soul Snatcher is safer for her.
I'm gonna go with the Soul Snatcher.
I'm
gonna go with the Soul Snatcher.
She get that Soul Snatcher, dude. She's hit that in some crazy ways. But not to get off topic. My bad. I'm just
all right. Let's take it home real quick because let's talk about Maxwell Jacob Friedman, man. Woo! He made a deal with Ricochet, right? He made a deal with Ricochet yesterday, and they virtually put Mark Briscoe as a casualty. Hangman.
We've seen this before. I'm sorry. I got to let this out. We've seen this before. Darby Allin did the same thing to Jack Perry.
We're going to talk about it in a second. Yes. MJF tells Hangman, look, man, I know you kind of got one up on me last week, but I'm going to get one up on you. They take Mr. Mark Briscoe backstage. They beat him up. They got him tied to the chair, and they're putting gasoline all over him. And he's got the lighter flicking it like Lil Wayne in one of his mixtapes. No ceilings. And basically he made a deal with Hangman that one, DQs allow you to switch the titles. What's the second one? I know the third obviously is that he doesn't have to technically use his
cash
contract. And then what was the last one that he had?
What was it?
If anybody in the comments knows, type it in and I'll show it to you because I'm losing my mind because I watched it this morning. Anyways, he gave him the ultimatum and Hangman agrees because he did not want to see Mark Briscoe burn. Baby burn. So we are the biggest thing, obviously, is the fact that now the cat in the count out. Yes.
Count out.
Yep. So the big thing is that he will not have to use his money in the bank briefcase. I mean his contract in this match. And it's just a regular match. So I'm curious to see how it goes. But you know what, and you looked a little mad. So we're gonna go to you first.
So I mean, so all this does. So is MJF out of the Hurt Syndicate? Is this all a big ploy to where he goes in, he does the match? If he loses, then boom, here come the tag team champions down. They jump. They jump him and then he cashes in to win right there. Like so Tony Khan, there's a plethora of ideas you can pull from. Plethora. There's 13 different ways that you could have gotten the same result without resorting to gasoline and lighting someone on fire again. Like we saw that. It was cool when Darby Allin did it. When Darby Allin did it to Jack Perry, it was cool. Can't believe he did it again. Right? Like, stop playing with fire. We had Darby Allin come out with a flamethrower. Like, okay, cool. There's different ways. Watch Taken. You can get 15 different torture methods from Taken. But like this was cool for MJF. I don't. If he's just going off by himself, I don't understand why you even put him with the Hurt Syndicate. I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm confused. I don't like being confused. Hangman just won the title. Like, are you going to take it from him already? Like, did we just get a moment to get the belt back and now you're going to give it to MJF? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on with the title picture. Where's Swerve? I have no idea where Swerve.
He's wrestling Okada.
Yeah. Okay.
The Hurt Syndicate part makes me a little confused and a little frustrated because it got left. Like it seriously, look, man, I don't acknowledge the dirt sheets, but everything the dirt sheet said about that and how it's been booked makes me feel like there is a level of truth to it because we didn't talk about it. The Hurt Syndicate are going to have a triple threat match, and they're not wrestling FTR one-on-one. So maybe FTR wins by tagging Bandito or Brody King. Maybe, I don't know. That's a potential thing. And then the other thing is, yes, the storyline just looks like it got snatched right out of our hands. But I do want Anthony to get a take before we close out, man. What are your thoughts on this ultimatum that he gave Hangman and Arson, most importantly?
Oh, I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of use for my shovel at this point. I agree with Aunt U. I mean, if they turn around and somehow give the belt to MJF after that whole build-up thing, that would be the ultimate irony of fitting. They had an end game finish that didn't end game anything. The Death Rider's still there and have him switch the title that quick. I get what they tried to do. Oh, it's a swerve because Hangman tricked him last week to the match without using his cash in, and now this week he reversed it. And I'm like, you didn't need that. If you wanted to do the Mark Briscoe thing, you could have just did that. Like, but why even the twist? It's a twist that's not needed. It was a turn that wasn't needed. Logistically, I don't care for that segment as a whole because it lacks believability. So you're telling me an entire locker room full of people saw Mark Briscoe get beaten up and taken somewhere. It's not an undisclosed location. It's backstage, and they're threatening them to set it on fire. If only someone had control over this company. Oh, that's right. Like, there's no authority figure. Like,
there's a whole camera crew there too.
Yes, yes. We don't know where he is. Well, call Stu, who's on the camera. It's not that complicated. Like you gotta stop with this whole where Tony Khan is in charge when he wants to be in charge, but then any other time, we don't care. If they want to set somebody on fire, it's fine. It's just a Wednesday. We don't care. Like, stop. And like you said, they did this before, but that is a Tony Khan trope. He gets something that he really likes and then does it over and over again. Remember when he was on the kick of, you got to beat 3 people. You got to go through this gauntlet of people to get a match with me. They did it with MJF. They did it with Jericho. That was the thing that we saw over like 6 months. It was like, now we got to do it again. We got to do it again. I really like it. But the audience is like, again, this is the same thing with the fire thing. I've seen this before. The first time I saw somebody in wrestling about getting set on fire, it was Kane who threatened to set himself on fire, back in the day. If he didn't win the title in the first blood match with Austin at King of the Ring 98. But, give me logic. If you want to do that segment, do it in an undisclosed location. Don't do it backstage. And don't use a professional camera thing. Like, use, I don't know, Marina's cell phone or something. Do FaceTime it. Do something where it doesn't look like, and that's in wrestling in general. If you're going to do a segment like that.
Know what my biggest issue was? Where he's like, you have 5 seconds, but you clearly can't hear each other. You're not talking directly at each other. That thing always irritates me. Sorry.
Like it was just dumb. Like, it's just the whole, like, here's the thing. He's got to do the cash in or not use the cash in. I'm sorry. Tony Khan's back there. How is it in wrestling as a whole, in general, where they do big contract signings? Both parties have to sign, but yet you'll watch an episode of Dynamite or episode of Raw, and they're like, "Hey, this guy's fighting that guy. Did they sign a contract?" Like, it's so dumb when they do stuff like this, where it's like, "Oh, I agree to this," and it's like, "Yeah, I didn't care for the segment because I think it was a twist that wasn't needed." Will the match be great? Yeah. Could they possibly screw this up and just give it to Max after they did this whole Death Riders nonsense with All In? Totally possible. If the Hurt Syndicate thing is a dead issue, I will stand by my original statement. It was dumb to have him join in the first place because it was
1,000%.
It was not MJF. Him begging to be in a part of a group is not MJF. So unless it's the pivot or the ploy or whatever they're doing, where we tricked everybody that I'm not with them, but I really am with them. Also, how much of a chump does that make Lashley look? Lashley's a former world champion, and now he's a henchman for Max. Why?
It should have. Honestly, I still think they should still be in this. Then Hurst and Ken should definitely still be within the storyline to help Max get the title. Rather this, and that's kind of where I was a little bit like, okay, it seems like we are done with him in them. Like it's
and it served no purpose. It got nothing.
Because they should have. Because it should have been like, okay, I'm away, and then on Sunday, then you get him, right? And it leads to Lashley wanting him to get the belt because he wants to get the closer to the belt and gets it off of him. So I mean, we'll see what happens. It definitely was confusing. It also could lead to Mark Briscoe becoming the world champion. Also, like that is a possibility.
I would love that.
And maybe that's what it leads to, where Max gets it off of Hangman and then Mark gets it off of him. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But man, that is all the time that we do have today. Thank you guys.
I can't think of a time where a crackhead has been the world heavyweight champion. Give it to Uncle Mark. Uncle Mark needs it.
Hey man, Mark Briscoe might not have
Nick
all
Gage
his.
Was a world champ, wasn't he?
Mark Briscoe might not have all his teeth, but he could have a title. That's all that matters. Thank y'all in the comments, man. We'll be back same time tomorrow. We're gonna be myself, Aunt you, and Ben going over the prediction. So that should be a fun one. And yeah, man, keep rocking with us. Follow all the pages, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.